Okay.
All I know is the Miami game just started.
That's all you know, huh?
I'm sitting here like, it ain't good. Wasn't it at 8?
I think so.
She was. Go, yeah.
Try and make it quick.
Oh, no, I wasn't meaning that at all, because we got a lot of business afterwards, just,
Don't say that. The Pacers beat the Knicks. I hope they get crushed.
Oh, you're a Knicks fan? Wow. Can we just escort you out?
right, let's take you out of here.
Most cheated, most underrated team in baseball, basketball. Man, see, so cheated. I don't even know what sport I'm in.
Okay, we got everybody now. We're going to reconvene this meeting. It is now 8:21. And with the board's permission, I would like to go ahead and move to item 9. Let's see, yes. Right, item 9. So they don't have to stay here for the whole, however long they stay. Go ahead.
Good evening.
This is item 9, discussion regarding baseball country's proposed lease.
Good evening.
Thanks a lot for having us here for some more discussion. I know we made the proposal to y'all, and my right arm, my wife, is not here. She's in New York on some business, so I brought the next best thing. I brought Jose here. So Jose Villafani is one of the guys with us, and on the letter there that we provided, we did want to express those thanks to y'all, and we wanted to say that we have several variations of that proposal that we would be open to discussing with y'all. We know, and I'm learning as I go, as far as how specific we can be on these, and obviously things take discussion, and boy, y'all are very patient and strong people to hear all the different business that y'all have.
Appreciate
Yes. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but, you know, just briefly, since I brought Jose here, you can see on that back page, that's and I haven't previously said who, when I talk about our tournament directors, but that second page is the guys, and that's the core of our company right there that plan on doing the baseball tournaments and the camps and clinics and so forth. And Jose is one of those listed on it. Jose, do you have anything to say?
Real simple. I've been involved in baseball all my life, so literally I was born and raised in California. When I moved out here for the best of my children, I believe, for the schools. I believe the school system here in Texas is great, and I really appreciate the opportunity of being here and being part as far as what we're here for. Really is you know, listening to the other. When we do things for our kids, and basically that's what we move on in life, and that's whatever we gotta do to do this. But I think Mr. Fidel here has got a big picture as far as bringing out what we call, you know, the baseball life out here, and it's all football. I know that it's kind of tough, but slowly we're working our way through to really build you know, the programs that you see now as to when I first moved out here, there was very little select programs out there. Now you could say there's actually hundreds out there, and it's amazing how it's evolving. But it's a great experience for me to teach and to mentor a lot of the young athletes and get them prepared to moving on and playing to the next level. So I'm excited and can't wait to really get things going.
Matt, one of the guys on there, he was formerly with the Atlanta Braves organization. He got drafted out of high school as well, like Jose, and he's real excited about it. They know that now there's a market in there, and he's got so many lessons right now. He couldn't be here this evening, but hopefully as things progress, we can get the whole group in. If you would, let's pass those. I mean, would it work better if y'all had asked questions of me, or did y'all want me to kind of narrate this quickly, what we have here? I can hold this up, maybe that's better. Okay, if you look at the back of the event center, there's a gravel driveway. This is 97 up here, and then there's that driveway that comes behind the event center. So the event center, and this is the existing parking lot. I think it's 849 feet across. So River Park is over here with the existing ball fields here. If you notice, the drawing says proposed sidewalk. And these, by the way, don't have dimensions, because even though we have them here, the engineer still has the plans and recently got the plat to be able to do the exact, but it is a to-scale drawing that has the proposed sidewalk. That's 100 feet, 50 feet on either side, 4-foot wide sidewalk. So you would come and park, and then you'd have 50 feet of sidewalk on either side. This is an 8-foot sidewalk, so in other words, from 4 feet, it gets bigger to 8 feet and runs 300 feet. So this is 300 feet of sidewalk and live oaks on either side, so we can get some shade going eventually. I know on the first proposal, the amount of money and so forth is always going to be a question. Obviously, my goal is to get the fields as inexpensive as possible, maintaining good quality. So we're looking at $250,000 for the first 4 fields. I don't think I can go with the way the prices look right now beyond 4 fields on the initial phase. But if I can get 4 good fields, less than 250, of course, that's what I'm going to shoot for, because that lets me do more flat work, more landscaping, things like that. Okay. The fields, if you notice, a lot of times, like on the initial, I did get a drawing of the initial, someone else's idea, I guess, of how the fields are. And oftentimes you see them in a very perfect symmetrical looking formation or something. They can't always go that way, but the ideal way that the select works, that the ball fields will work, is when you come into the parking area, you don't have the backstop right there, obviously the foul ball situation and so forth. It allows you to have shorter backstops, saving money. They can still be beautiful. We've studied this. We know how to get the fields to be less expensive yet good quality fields. The reason that these two here are exactly the same is because right now we're calling this phase 1. Coming to the back of the event center, across the gravel driveway, into the parking lot, and further into the property, we're calling this phase 1. Although phase 2 would be the next set of 4 fields as we grow in that other there. And that would be going all the way to that back gravel driveway in the back, inside the area where the arena, the rodeo arena is. This one would be the area, if you see the existing gravel road here, so that you would have the event center, the first phase 1, phase 2, and this is the gravel road. Phase 3 would be that area.
Where will these people park?
Well, primarily, we would park, they would park in that gravel driveway behind the event center, first off. If you notice on this rendering, where it says parking area, there is no parking right now there. It would have to be us putting in probably gravel that matches the existing gravel driveway.
There's no parking area for that?
Well, we would have to know by how big the tournaments are. I hope there's not enough room for parking there, that it forces me quickly to build more
In other
parking.
words, I'm not going to use the front end of the parking.
Well, I guess that's negotiable. That parking there is fantastic. If they could, if that's a big draw to people when they come, and if they say, wow, we've got lit parking level, it's beautiful, we can pull our strollers.
So what happens if there's an event there?
Yeah, well, obviously, that parking lot is so big, I don't know how full it is. The fullest I've seen it, I was there last month, and it was pretty full with the band event, the 75th anniversary of the band thing. Surely, if it was that full though, there was still room, and I'm only estimating, there was room for maybe 80, 85 more cars. And that's as full as I've ever seen it. I don't check, but I check a lot lately. And I've never seen the parking lot completely full in the front. Surely people would want to park as close as possible, you know, on the back parking lot. As we grow, I'm hoping that the back gravel area, we would also be forced to put parking there because there's so many people coming to the tournaments. That brings me to the growth of it. If we're looking at being able to have this as successful as they've been everywhere else, we would go from this phase 1 into phase 2, the second floor, and then we would have to grow, if of course if we could, if we were allowed to, into that far back area. And that's where this, that's what this picture is, the back area. Again, we've measured it out, and we know those fields can, of varying sizes, some are small, those can fit there. We don't know the ins and outs, like I said the very first time, of how that works with the rodeo arena. We could add some that we know wouldn't even interfere with it at all, or if it was not used, we know that we could use that space. Yes, ma'am?
And y'all are gonna fund all of this?
Yes, the first.
The city won't pay for any of this?
City's not paying for anything except we're asking for use of that well for irrigation.
Okay, that's gonna be an issue, because didn't we just have to replace something in the well, Bill?
Mm-hmm. We need to talk to see how where we are with that well.
So is it not operable?
It's been out.
Oh.
It had been out, and I do believe that, my understanding was they were having somebody work on it, but it has been out for some time.
And do you wanna lease the land from us, or?
Yes, ma'am.
I think she missed the presentation. I think you were out when he did the presentation, the last meeting, maybe?
Mhm.
It was meeting, it was at
Yeah.
April 29th.
Yeah, April 29th.
On the,
Here.
And Ms. Rose was not on the
Yes.
board at that time either.
Basically, are you still proposing the $1,000 a month?
yes, ma'am, the way it was broken down on the presentation there, it's $1,000 a month, and then we're offering, here's the speak.
Percentage of,
Yeah, and I knew since I failed since Margaret's.
we won't tell it. I have it right here. We'll pay a lease payment of $1,000 per month after a 10-year term. FBC, which is Floresville Baseball Country, has the right of first refusal for a new lease term. And also proposing a 5-year period lease for the concession window at the patio area of the existing center.
Yes.
And you would pay a percentage of your concession revenue from there.
Right, and we were estimating that would, including however we break that down, would be approximately $4,000 a month. And of course, we would say, we're having these tournaments for 10 months of the year. If it was more, you know, if it was a better deal for the city to say, look, instead of the percentage, because you might have a huge tournament, couple of tournaments, and then you might have small couple of tournaments, we just want the flat rate, then we'd like to pretty much start at that number, $4,000 a month, that we could say, just to put it out there, that's what we could do, $4,000 a month for 10 months.
Well, I have a problem with the concession part of it because of weddings and all sorts of events that take place. That would interfere with each other.
Right. In anticipation of that, what we thought would be that window that leads to the patio. I think that it's called the bar commonly for the folks that work there. Now, is that if that bar is a problem, that bar window or that concession window is a problem, what we said is, and according to the engineer, it looks like something that can be added. That the same exact concession window, the bar, seems like it could be put on the back end of the kitchen where we never mess with the patio. Because surely we anticipated that if you have an event, we don't need kids, baseball people going there. And it seems like the back window, and if we were just, on the weekends we have tournaments, able to put a sign, maybe magnetic or something, doesn't affect the building, that just says concession, seems pretty easy. And then that would only be, we asked for 5 years, negotiable, and that's because once it takes hold and we've got it, we come onto the property, like in this picture, something like this, say 200 feet down in this area, then we'd be able to put in our own concession there. Unless we don't have the use of the thing, then we would do it up front. And then the lease, though, would have to be modified, because a huge draw to these people is that you'd have the best, you'd have the most beautiful concession area of any ball field facility around.
It's important for the people who do the traveling, and make sure the concession is really something that they look forward to, especially when the kids and the parents are just hanging out. So it's important.
It gets to be good revenue.
But y'all keep that revenue, right?
Well, not if we decide that it's negotiable and you get a percentage. Then, of course, we're open to negotiating that percentage. It seems easier for us to be able to say, we'll pay a flat fee a month, because the concession that works here, we know the way that concessions work. It's a different animal than, say, the way the bar works at the boxing event or something. You have to be, in the morning, you have to be really catering to what those families want right off. The breakfast tacos in the morning, but you have to have your kids, and we have to be out on that property in different locations. Hot dogs, if it's fall ball, it has to be the hot chocolate and the coffee, lemonade, water, tea, whatever is cold, and you have to be out there. It's not really just at the concession, and that's what makes it effective. That's what makes you make money. Ice cream, and we've studied this. McAllister Park, just a $12 Walmart table, and lemon squeezers and lemons and so forth for the lemonade, and ice, of course, and at different stations with ice cream, and it just adds up so much. It's just that you have to get out there to where the people are, and they're going to be in lawn chairs and all over the place.
So you're even asking for use of the kitchen, you say breakfast tacos and stuff like that. Not only would you want to serve out of that bar area, but you're asking for use of the kitchen also.
Yes, yes, unless we don't, that's okay, then we'll pay less of a lease a month, and then we'll come and just build a concession on the property. We know we're gonna have to build bathrooms. We don't even wanna ask for the bathrooms in the event center, because there's too much traffic, and we don't wanna mess with damage and all that, wear and tear. But absolutely, that's the draw too, is that you get, our folks would have, a great facility to work out of. You have to understand that all of this is negotiable to where at the end of a certain point, if we get to this lease agreement and we get this done, and you say, well, after X amount of years, we want to renegotiate, we know you're making a lot of money at that. It's to the point where you're going to want our tournaments to be bigger. The bigger they are, the more concessions we sell, the more money we all make.
The only problem I see with the concessions is, again, if we've got another function going on in the ballroom or anything like that, and you're using the kitchen, it'd be really hard to keep everything, straight, everything. And I've worked the bar there, and I know we use, when we're just using the kitchen and we're not using the patio area, we'll use that to store extras or that kind of thing. So I could see where it would almost maybe be an overlap at
Right.
events or something. Just my concern, just to throw it out there.
Sure.
My personal opinion is, a freestanding concession of your own that doesn't attach to the center would probably be the most feasible thing.
I know we had, the other night, I was out there, we had the boxing event, and they had a volleyball going on over there. And really, there was no conflict between the two. However, the volleyball was using their end of the concession
Because
stand
we have
in that corner.
concessions there.
And we had the two concessions going for the boxing on each cat corner. each diagonal, so, but I think she's right. I think that would create a problem, with using that concession stand like that. And maybe that's something we need to look at as a construction project or something, but, I think that would be a problem.
I think we can make that work. I mean, we were prepared initially, and what a lot of people do is they do the bathroom and concession building all in one. It saves money, you know,
Yeah, you've
your
got
slab.
electricity and water and.
Sure,
Right.
but then in that case, because we're bringing this kind of revenue to y'all, and these make a lot of revenue. They make, and if we're gonna say, well, let's go ahead and do this, we would want that bathroom somewhere where we could tie into the existing water.
Right.
And that's just weekends, bathroom facilities, kind of like what you have anyway in the city park, a nicer version of that.
Okay, thank you. I think we have to do some legwork on this.
Yes, sir.
And,
So you'll have your separate electricity and separate water bills, and
right.
you're gonna take care of that over there?
We're not, except that if the concession, I guess the water, like we said, if we're, if we're building a freestanding concession in water, we'd sure like to be able to tie into the one that you have there. I think you have the water going to that gravel parking lot. Otherwise, I don't think there's any water accessible, so, especially at the well.
Yeah, that's something we'd have to work out in the, Lacey, our city engineer,
Yes.
or to deal with. Yeah. So, I think we need to, we need to go through Parks and Recreation too on this. I would
I think a group effort
Yeah,
between us, the parks,
and then
council.
then we'll have to go to council.
Can I mention, Mr. Gleason?
Yes.
Now, this is just a thought I'd like to leave you with, because I did bring, if you look at the, also on the back page, Mr. Nona he owns Silver Slugger Baseball at San Antonio. It's a facility, they run a lot of baseball teams too, and so forth. And we went back and looked at the gym. And this, just so that you know, our intention is, I think we have a grasp on what we need to do. And we want y'all left with this message that we're trying to do the best thing. We want to be fiscally responsible. We want to build things that are clean and good. It's family-friendly stuff, and we're open to anything that you have. We're open to running tournaments on those existing fields from like, let's say August through October. You can see what we do. You can see how we work. Your city fields already, there's 3 of them, and they have concessions. It's not really, foreign to the area. We can get, it's just that what's foreign is that they don't run tournaments, and on weekends, they're just sitting there. If we did something like that, like I think was mentioned in the previous presentation, we could do a temporary kind of lease. We pay you $1,000 per tournament.
Why don't you use those fields now to do sort of like what you're talking about?
Really, what it is, and I'll be frank, everybody tiptoes around the Little League because the Little League has always bullied people around. That's the fact. The problem with that is I'm not really, open to being bullied around because, and I say that in a considerate way, because I know I'm trying to do the right thing. And I've reached out to the Little League, and I've told you all I'm in favor of supporting that Little League in any way I can. I know how to do it. Like I said, I've studied this thing, and I know, and I've seen it, and I've paid a lot of money for my kids to play baseball on the same fields that Little Leaguers play and select guys play. The fact is, here in Floresville, that's what you have. And until that changes, I have heard from people, many people, ex-board members, present board members, and they want things to change. And I don't know, you're asking me, and I kind of want to ask you, why are we not doing this now? Because this is not a new concept. This is something that I can bring with Jose and these other guys. We can bring money into Floresville. We can do stuff that's good for kids, and we can make our business out of it. It's free enterprise. But the way the Little Leagues are set up, and I love Little League, it's just not set up to make money and revenue. So there's no desire by the folks that run it to have anyone else come in and say, yeah, use these fields. Unless you're smart and say, hey, how can it benefit us? I tell you right now, it could benefit you. Fix up your concession stand and water your fields and make them nice. I know how to make nice baseball fields. I've done it before, so has Jose. Jose owns a landscaping company. We know how to get that done. But until that part changes, what do I got, you know, I'll go over there, there's a bunch of conflict. You know, that's what's happening now, and it's happened for years. And I think y'all probably know, and if you don't know, you probably should ask around, because that's what's going on.
And the revenue that will bring in, will go to you?
Well, I pay per month, I pay you, for example.
The revenue that comes in from the guys that are playing,
Yeah.
the family.
Sure.
And then he would pay
Then
us
he would
like
You would
pay
pay
us
us $1,000?
$4,000 a month is what I'm willing to pay.
That's on the proposed doing the fields.
Right, oh, you're talking
Yes,
about on
yes.
the River City Park, on your park fields?
No, we're talking about on this.
Yeah, $4,000 a month, that's what we can do.
And, but then, whatever you make off of, an event, you keep the money,
Right.
the money goes to
The
you.
money goes to me and the people that are working it, sure, our company. And we pay,
You have a company, okay.
well, it's a
What's his
company.
investment?
It's, for example, Floresville Baseball Country is the name of the company. But there's expenses, like we have to pay the guys that help us between the games, we have to pay umpires.
And you'll have so many people on your board or in your companies?
Yes, on Thursday, as a matter of fact, we were gonna have our EIN number for our business.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to wait till Thursday, we had to move it because of Margaret's business thing, and it was either an LLC or the incorporated. And there's 2 more questions that have to be answered before we get that, but either, on Thursday, we're either gonna be Inc. or we're gonna be LLC.
And how many people are in this?
The ones on the back page, there's five of us. And my wife is not included in there because although she's be the owner with me, she wouldn't be a tournament director. What I've listed there is the 5 tournament directors.
If I can just clarify, the $4,000 would be including the lease of the concession.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes,
Without the concession, it's $1,000 a month to the,
1,000, and then we had asked for, I think we had said $500 for the kitchen concession and whatever, I think that's what we put in there. But like I said, it's negotiable, so what I'm saying, it's negotiable, I think we said it's approximately $4,000, I think that's what the proposal says.
I don't see the 500, but I do see approximately 4,000 per month.
Right, and that's what I'm saying to you now is, even if you didn't work concessions, and it's in our favor to run the concessions, even if you didn't run those, the best we could do at this point to start the negotiation is to say, we'll pay $4,000 a month for 10 months. And we schedule tournaments every weekend for 10 months. And that's the offer that we're putting on the table.
Well, thank you, and I tell you what, we need to do our footwork on this, and we need to get started on this. And see what we need to do and who we need to contact on the Parks and Recreation. And I would think so. So, thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is consideration and possible action on rental fees, concession stand.
Guys, do y'all need this?
Oh, sure.
Actually, so
Thank you. Thank you for waiting.
I'm fine.
you're okay?
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Well, let's,
Thank you.
You need this item?
No, no.
wait a minute, Melissa.
She needs to take a phone
Okay. I think we need to get with the Parks Foundation and see what we need to do with that. I really don't know. That's taking a very good step.
That's a huge step.
I don't,
And,
That's a huge
that looks like
step.
an accident waiting to happen to me.
Is that?
It stinks.
Well, I don't even know what the legal
I don't either, and we
aspects
need
of it are.
to find out, we
yeah,
need to talk to Rob
to Rob
also.
and- Because if the kids
Yeah, and the problem with that is, you know, what happens if they go under?
Exactly.
What happens if, all of a sudden we got a baseball field there, we gotta maintain or tear down?
Right, exactly. Right.
There's,
That
I
becomes
mean,
our
that's gonna be
expense. Yeah.
expense, and you're doing either one, either maintaining it or tearing it down, we got an expense.
Well, and then we're trying to maintain what we already have.
Right,
Yeah.
and
That's a problem.
then also we're taking another step into the, we're already having athletic problems right now. Now we're taking another step in venture
And
into
parking,
the,
no,
to several things.
They're
I think we need to,
I don't know why they're doing any footwork at all.
well,
They're basically looking for somebody to provide the area.
That's
for
right.
Business.
Yeah.
right, and,
And $1,000 in
$4,000,
salt.
or
That is
$4,000
all.
a month.
It's 4,000 a month, really.
yeah,
It's
For only 10 months though.
yeah.
But for 10 months, yeah.
Yeah,
For 2 months we're not
40,000.
using it, we're not.
And that's only if they use our
Exactly.
concession,
But it's still
they use our
there.
kitchen.
Well, needless to say, there's a lot of things we need to look into before we talk about this.
And I think there was a summary sheet that had a list of factors and maybe some questions to consider. I can email that out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So that, you
please,
know,
please do that,
guys
because
have
we need to,
that.
we're taking a big step here, we need to look and see what we're.
And Rob also recommended that if we're gonna have meetings every 2 weeks, then maybe, one of those, one meeting out of the 2 meetings per month, or however you wanna do it, you know, a lot of, consolidate all the legal issues into one agenda so that you can be here for that one meeting.
Right.
That's what it's about.
And I think we need to do that.
At the next meeting.
Reason we're having meetings so often is because we've got to keep continuity going, and it's hard to do that once a month.
Right.
And I feel like that we're at a point where I know it's a year away from when we are looking at having to manage this thing, but a year is gonna go by extremely fast. And
Yeah.
unless we keep the continuity going and the movement flowing, if we say we got a month to work, I know I'm guilty
We're
of saying,
the
I'll wait till 2 days before and
Yeah.
start. We can't do that, we need to keep trucking. And the same thing with this, we've got the Boys and Girls Club, we've got other things that we've got to look at too. And, I think we just need to make sure we keep moving with this stuff and not let it slow down. But I'm concerned about
Now,
making the right step.
do we meet as a board every 2 weeks?
We that's what I'm suggesting, that we try to do it every other,
Because there's just so much going on right now.
and one of the things that's,
And so do you want
And we
to
need to
have
stop
something
making
to
such a
come
big
back
deal out of
in
everything.
2 weeks?
Hmm?
Do you want something?
Maybe we need to sign the lease and move on. This guy is no. And this,
For right now, yeah.
I mean, it's just,
we've got a lot of things on our plate right now. We really do.
Sorry.
So
No
if
problem.
we allow her to just sign a lease right now, then we can come back with that.
In
And so
September.
just give me a little
Right.
time to-
And,
and I'll go with you.
yeah, I think we all need to be involved with that.
Yes, I do
Yes.
too. I'll
My
do the
personnel
grunt
does.
work
And
on that.
I didn't mean to overstep my bounds when I went out and talked to her Friday, but I wanted her to be here to hear.
That was
And
a
we
good
needed to hear
idea,
that.
yes.
I thought she, you know, I wanted to make sure she was given notice of what we were.
I just don't know where she gets all the attitude of if
Well,
she's this one and
we'll
that.
talk about that
Yeah,
later.
I know.
All right, here we go, rental fees and concession fees. What's the latest on that?
Okay, we have worked, I'm gonna pass out a couple of things, Bill, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We probably all may have this, I know that Leanne doesn't, but, this is some information on the hotel motel occupancy tax and that kind of thing. And I think it's important that we're all very familiar with what's going on.
Yeah.
So I got copies of all of that so that we can make ourselves a little familiar with it to where we know exactly where the money comes from, where it needs to go, how it needs to be spent. This is also on, you know, some of the hotel motel tax, how it has to be spent, that kind of a thing. And that beaten to our head helps us
Mhm.
make everything go a lot smoother, I would say.
And I would encourage you to read this. We got one a year or so ago, and there are, you know, the hotel motel tax sounds like a really great thing, but there are places, you can only spend the money for certain things
Exactly.
and in certain ways, and we need to make sure that we do that, because I don't wanna get into
It has to be spent appropriately.
appropriately.
Yes.
And I think we need to watch that and coordinate that very carefully with the city so that they understand we're on the same page about spending it the right way.
Thank you. I have a corrected version, which the only real issue with what we submitted to council was, and now I know exactly what happened, Mitsuko and I worked on it, and she did not have the old copy of this to know what was per hour or per day, and
Yeah, I had no
so we figured it out now, and we know where we went wrong, which was just one little bitty word that got everything
Right,
all messed
yeah.
up, but we do have corrected copies of before and after. And it's what we discussed, what we've researched, what we've marketed. You know, we've gone out, we've looked at other centers, we've looked at the fees, we've looked at the sizes, we've looked at everything to help us come up with these prices. No, none of us claim to be marketing directors or marketing people. Not whatsoever. Never
Well,
said
on top
that.
of that, it's very difficult to do because everybody prices things different ways,
That is correct, it is, but
different packages.
correct, based on our facility, surrounding facilities like the Seguin Convention, New Braunfels, we checked with those. These fee schedules that we have proposed are not out there, whatsoever. I, very comfortable in putting our name on it, saying that we worked hard to get to this.
Did you present, have we presented this to the council? We've given them,
We gave them the first copy, which had the few issues on it. I did bring it up briefly at the update that I gave to them the other night. I have copies to get to them in their packets.
okay,
So basically, we need to, as a board, we need to approve this, go forward with it, take it to council, and go from there. We've asked for input from citizens, we've asked for input from the council, and we've received very little. So as a board, instead of dragging it out continuously, we need to go forward with it.
okay.
Little information
So
that
it's not gonna take effect until next year anyway.
well, we have 24 bookings already for the year 2014, and that's our Saturday, Friday, Saturday type bookings. So, you know, this is lost revenue for us for
Right.
next year because we don't already have this in
Right.
place.
Yeah, well, I move that we,
Absolutely.
sure, we approve this fee schedule and
Move it.
submit it to council for
Okay,
approval.
we have a
Council.
motion to approve the fee schedule and send it to council. Is there a second? Okay, motion by Pullen, second by Rose, that we approve this fee schedule and send it to the council for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Anyone nay? Okay. That baby is taken care of.
I know, we've been talking about it long enough, let's do
I think that's awesome.
it.
Okay, next item is consideration and possible action related to the Fall Fest barbecue cook-off event. I hope someone knows more about it than I do.
I do. It's all me, Bill.
Okay.
First of all, it's something that myself, I'm very passionate about. The Fall Fest started out with the Chamber of Commerce years ago. If we get to have this one, this will actually be like the 9th year that we've had it. Very small at some points, and then there were some points when we had 40, 45 teams. It's typically the second weekend of November. Throughout time, the chamber passed on doing the event, so the city said, you know, you get the sponsors, whatever, you want to take it over, you want to do it, so we took it and we ran with it. Didn't take a whole lot of people to do it, myself, Sherry Pollock, and of course some help from some of the city workers by putting up barricades and trash cans and that kind of thing. We did it, we ran with it, and it was a pretty decent event. we've got sponsors, we've got people who, you know, every year would come through and say, you know, we'll do this, we'll do this. We've actually got people are calling me, people are calling Sherry Pollock. You're not on the IBCA website, what's going on? Are y'all doing this, are y'all not doing it? And we kind of discussed it around, I've mentioned it to the city manager, and he's like, put it on there and see. I also brought it up to council, the other night when I gave the update, and, several of them, Mr. Miller himself had been at the last one. Ms. Garza had come out and she attended, and it's a really neat event. Paige is very familiar with it. Not only do they cook, but last year, Outlaw Catering sponsored, we have a kids cook. And Outlaw Catering sponsored the kids cook, which was unbelievable. So she's probably as passionate about this as I am. I'm presenting this saying, you know, we're workers. If we can get the funding, we can get the donations, the sponsors, to go forward with our cook-off, I would love to see us take it on and not let it die.
As the 4A board?
It'll be, you know, the 4A board, the city as, you know, as a whole. Last year we called it City of Floresville Fall Fest, whereas in the past it had been the chamber, but like I said, they decided to let that go. It's really, it's an exciting event. It brings people here.
Was this at the event center?
It is. In fact, the last 3 years it's been there, and,
In the parking lot?
in the back of the event center.
Okay.
Yeah, in the back, out in the grass, you know.
Okay.
People will start to move in on Thursday night, they'll set up, they practically move in and live there for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And so why did it get tabled before, or whatever the right term is?
In November, when our new council came in, all funding for events were,
So does the city have to pay for some of that?
hopefully we don't have to have any revenue come out of our budget or the city or anything like that, if we can get enough sponsors.
And how much money do we need?
If we could get $5,000,
Mm-hmm.
we would be doing really good.
And where's that $5,000 go?
It goes into, okay, the kids cook, I'll explain that right quick. We get the little barbecue pits from Academy, they're about $20 a piece. We get that, charcoal lighter, each kid receives 2 pork chops, and they pay an entry fee of, I believe it's $25, and it's a 2-person team. They come out, we set them all up, you know, in a little area or whatever. They come up, they get their pork chops, they get their pits. One year we had someone sponsor tongs. So, you know, they take their equipment, they go back to their little site, they cook their pork chops. We have a deadline for turn-in, just like the big guys. And it works like that. Meat, barbecue pits, charcoal, lighter fluid.
But that's for the kids.
That's for the kids.
Yeah.
We do, last year was really cool. We were able to do gift baskets. Myself, my business, and a couple of others donated. We had some iPods, and we had some pretty cool little things. We made nice gift baskets. I went and got, you know, goodies and just made really neat baskets. So we gave first, second, and third a basket, and every child gets a medal. Medal cost us about $2 a piece, and you always make them all.
How many did you have participate
Last year we had about, I think there was about 15, something like that.
What's the entry fee for the adult?
The adult cook-off, it is and it's sanctioned. It's ran by judges in the South Texas area. We will assist. It's $125 for brisket, ribs, and chicken. That covers your 3 meats. We also do jackpots, which
They bring their own meat?
they furnish everything, but they pay us to enter. And we in turn take that entry fee, and that's how we pay our jackpots out. That's how we pay. We pay first, second, and third, and they'll get money, and then we do some sort of a plaque. Or last year we had some really good donations. We were able to give Yeti ice chests, and it was awesome. People were so excited, and we got so many good reviews and stuff for that. So if we can continue to, you know, the more money you give out, the better your prizes are, the more cookers come. And
And what about beer and water and tea? Is there concession?
Yeah.
We could have a concession if we want to, but the way these people are,
That's they bring their own.
they bring their own. And you can't, if you said, you can't bring your ice chest, you have to buy beer from us or anything like that,
Yeah.
they're not coming. So we don't do that. What we do is, we sell ice. We get, extra ice brought in, we deliver ice, and you make money on it because you sell it for
Does
more.
Joe Q Public attend?
I'm sorry.
Does Joe Q Public attend, or is it just for the cookers?
No, the public, yeah, we want the public to attend. We want them to come and judge. We'll actually, we'll send out letters of invite to our city officials, our county officials. Yes, yes.
And then we have
And
porta potties.
There's porta potties out there. Last year, I was able to, I worked with an oil field company. We got a couple donated. We got the lights. We had 4 light towers. Those were donated. So if we work it, it'll be at very minimal cost to us, if any.
We would not want any cost.
Of course. That, that's always the plan.
And where does is there a profit made in this, or,
We hope to have a profit, yes.
and where will that go?
We can say that we're gonna put it into the Parks Foundation, or we could do whatever we wanna do with it, or utilize it in a fund for the barbecue cook-off for next year.
Right.
Because the whole idea of it is to build your payout. If you can remember back a couple of months ago, Pleasanton, front page of the newspaper, biggest payout in the history of the state of Texas. Yes, so they had like 100 and I don't know exact number, I don't wanna say, it was like 130 some odd teams, it was just unbelievable. I would so love to see that happen in
That's a
Floresville.
huge one.
Yes,
Yeah, they
that's
have
huge.
entertainment.
Oh, yes, oh, they had like
Yeah.
Kevin Fowler and stuff like that, and I'm not,
Brothers were there.
Bellamy Brothers, yes, that's who was
Yeah.
there, yes. So, and we could actually get to those points if this is an event that we continue to work. But
And that's your-
what's happened with it, it got started, and then it kind of died off and was gonna get ditched, and then it got picked up. So although it's, 8 years running, 9 years running, it's not been, no one's really totally just put everything into it. It's kind of,
And I'm just being devil's advocate, what about liability insurance?
that we get a rider underneath the city because it's on the city property and all of that, yes. Yeah.
Is that, some.
Oh, yeah,
shit falls
no, we have to
into
cover
fire or
every
something like
base,
that, I can
which,
just see that.
yes, no, that's, definitely,
Okay,
It's
anybody
awesome.
have a motion?
I move that we go forward with the Fall Fest barbecue.
As long as we pay our way.
and that'll be up to us to get sponsors, all of us, together,
We
to
just go to
work.
businesses and
Mhm.
friends and.
Yeah. Mhm. Basically, you just, of course, we'll hit up Outlaw Catering for the kids cook.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Like Andy Horniat and Sarah Ford always helps us out. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with, the show barn just put one on this past weekend.
What
Yes.
am I living? I don't ever know.
Yes.
I saw it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have known except somebody came out to our center thinking it was out there.
yeah.
We've got a motion, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, a motion by Fuller and a second by Droz to, what are we sponsoring, or what?
Just to basically have the
To move
event,
forward.
to move forward with the
Schedule
event.
the event.
Okay,
Yes.
Schedule it in, all right,
As the 4A.
as the floor, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, now we need to look at, are we going to be able to meet again?
What's the date?
Weeks from now is the 17th.
Yes. Oh, I was having surgery on the 10th, so I can't do it then, the 17th. Okay. I would like to say this is the kind of board meeting I feel is good for us. We've had some healthy discussions on several items. and I think that we're not a board that just rubber stamps everything. I think we need to ask questions.
It's on 6:30.
At 6:30. 17th.
Is that a Monday?
That's
It
Monday
is.
night. Monday nights are, I found are usually pretty good nights for us.
Yeah.
So if everybody put that on your calendar. Leanne, I need for you to call Sherry Pollock, our city secretary, so she can get your email address and all that, because she will mail out agendas. And, to each of us, and that way,
You can send me your email.
everybody gets reminded. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, wait a second,
Okay.
sorry, what are your future agenda items? Are you gonna talk about Boys and Girls Club, or?
We'll continue the discussion on Boys and Girls Club. The other item I want to put on there is a system of event coordinators I've been looking into. And I'll tell you more about it later, but it's an idea where we don't have to use our employees out there 24/7 as we are doing it now. We'll have people who are trained to do that, and we will pay them a fee to be an event coordinator. I'd like to bring that up. Those are the two items that I really,
Do you believe that we'll be able to have enough information gathered by that meeting to?
That was my question a while ago.
Okay.
When do you all want information gathered?
I'd like to keep it going, because I don't want it to drop and all of a sudden September we're back in the same situation we're not in now.
Because I'm brand new to this, I might need a little guidance on how to approach all that,
Well-
and that how to talk to, and who to talk to, and
Just
And I
set
would
up the date.
recommend-
it's gonna be a data fact finding issue.
Right.
We have lease, everybody else has a lease, maybe we can go with those leases, just compare them.
I think we need to
Do we
review
have a-
all of the
no.
leases as we go
Do
through
you have a
this.
generic lease?
Yeah, she's not, but
We-
that,
Everything's.
Gloria has one.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
Maybe
we
need
can
to-
make an appointment or whatever and set it up with Miss Martinez and visit with her and then go from there.
it's
Yeah.
important.
Not with
I
that
will,
one.
my contract, I'm a counselor at the high school.